Welcome back into the Illini Drive on WPGU 107.1. We have a surprise for you. I can tell you about it going in because we wanted it to be a surprise. Brian Barnhart, the voice of the Fighting Illini, is on with us. I'm Peter Bailey-Wells. Brian, can you hear me?
Hey, how are you guys?
Hey, Brian, how you doing? I'm here with Jeff Omer, Hunter Warning, Ryan Wilson, who I believe you've met before, and our producer, Will Gerard. First things first, I mean, what do you think about what's this week been different? Obviously, last year was crazy, but what's this week been in comparison to some of the past years that you've been watching this team?
Well, I think it's been, the excitement has been building, obviously, but it's been a pretty quiet week in the sense of, compared to last year at this time when everybody was scrambling to find out, what in the world just happened. So I think in that sense, it's been a lot more normal, if you will. With everything going on, and Lovie is what you see is who he is. He's very low key. He's very professional. He's very classy. He doesn't throw things. He doesn't curse. He just does his job and seems to do it pretty well. And we'll see how it turns out on the field. But it's been a fun week. We were at Quarterback Club today in Champaign, and it was packed. Over 360 people, I think, and you could barely move in there, and you can sense the excitement. So I think everybody's ready to go.
Brian, this is Jeff Omer here, and I want to ask you a little bit about Lovie. When you first heard that he was going to be Illinois' head coach in early March of last year, what did you originally think, and how has that thought been either proven or just defied by Lovie then as he's taking over?
Well, I think it was, I can tell you, we were on a basketball trip with the men's basketball team. We were out at Penn State, and there was a group of us having lunch there in downtown State College, and all of a sudden we were just kind of talking about, the basketball team, and football really wasn't necessarily on our minds, and all of a sudden all of our phones started blowing up, and it was like, wait a minute, what is this? Bill Cubitt's been dismissed. And then there were rumors. I mean, then it just started, the speculation started flying. And then one of the guys with us who was pretty well connected, he said, who it might be is Lovie Smith. And we're like, you mean the Lovie Smith? And we I think we were like a lot of Illini Nation. We were kind of in disbelief, like I'd forgotten that he was even available to coach, much less, be coming to Illinois. So, yeah, I think, and then as reality set in, once you saw him there and the quick Josh Whitman visit to Florida to bring him up, and everybody was tracking the flights from Tampa to Champaign and see if he was coming, and the press conference and everything else. So there was a lot of, I think, initial euphoria. You guys have seen that with the season ticket sales that they've just taken off. But, now it's real. Now, I mean, he's had spring ball. He's had fall camp. It's been run very professionally and very well done, and like I said, I think it'll be nice to finally play a game and just see what it looks like.
Brian, this is Hunter Warning. It's nice to be talking to you. I got a question. I know there's a lot of tension going into the season, for coaches and players and all that. Do you ever get nervous for the season opener?
Oh, do I get nervous? Well, I've been doing sports broadcasting for about 30 years now, so but I think what I enjoy is I don't know if I get nervous anymore, but I think if you do play-by-play even as long as I have, that you still think when that first game starts, you think, okay, do I remember how to do this? I think I do. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of like riding a bike that you haven't ridden all winter, and then you get back on, and it comes back pretty quickly. But I don't know if it's nerves. I get excited about the start of a new season, the freshness of it, the usually great weather that you have in September. I just really, really enjoy the start of a new season. But I don't know about getting nervous, but I do think that even those of us that have been doing it a while always think, now, do I remember how to do this? And you usually pick it up pretty quickly once you get started.
Hey, Brian, how are you doing? This is Ryan Wilson. Thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate it. I guess on the play-by-play side, you talked a little bit about that already, but is your preparation for this first game a little bit different than all the others? Because we have a new coaching staff and new players and a bunch of excitement too.
Yeah, it's a little different, and it's part of it is you sort of. I mean, I've been to enough practices. I kind of know who's going to be the starters. I mean, generally you have a pretty good idea. Not at every position, but generally you do. But, what's tricky is for the other team, especially if they're an FCS opponent like Murray State. You don't have a whole lot of information on them. Usually, you're not quite sure. You don't get the depth chart till, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and so you're kind of working from a little bit behind there on what their depth chart is, and then you have to kind of account for numbers that may or may not get in a blowout game if it gets lopsided. It's a little different preparation. I think it's that way for the coaches too. I mean, they're not quite. They kind of have a general idea of what Murray State's going to run, but they really don't have a true picture because they just don't have a whole lot of film on them. So same way with Murray State for Illinois. They don't know. They have to go back and look at Bear stuff or Tampa Bay stuff to get an idea. So from my play-by-play perspective, it is a little different, but like I said, once you get all the information in front of you, then you make it work.
Brian, looking at this is Peter again. Looking at the schedule, we were just kind of running through how Grange Grove is new. They get the advantage. Fans do the several afternoon games. For you, which is sort of the one you're most excited about? The home game, especially. I would say that you're looking forward to the most. Is it North Carolina?